Tens of thousands of visitors have descended on Carlisle since the Weeping Window opened 2 weeks ago. It's been a big success, drawing people into the area.
We've come from Surrey, we're up here for the week. We're basically touring the Lake District and we just felt we had to come and see it.
We've passed Carlisle lots of times and never been. And we did see on the news a few days ago about the poppies.
I'll be going into the High Street and into the Tully Museum and, making the most of Carlisle because it's a beautiful city.
So we thought we'd come up for the day and then we're going to have a wander around Carlisle Centre for a couple of hours, get some food and then head back down this evening.
But the city needs to ensure it isn't a flash in the pan and that people continue to come here and spend money. The council says it's something they're working on.
The City Council are totally committed to funding events in the city to attract local people as well as tourists to come along. We do online marketing, we do traditional marketing. There's been a 12% increase in visitors to the city in the last year, with a boost to the local economy of over £6.5 million. So we must be doing something right.
And while part of the city is benefiting from the success of the poppies, at the other end of town, businesses are suffering with the closure of the viaduct. There's no doubt the high street is hugely important, but keeping it fresh is an ongoing battle.
In the Carlisle district as a whole, there are about 7,000 jobs in the latest census that are dependent upon that particular sector, which is about 12% of all employment. And that's been fairly constant for the past 4 or 5 years, but currently we're in a situation where the environment is getting very challenging. Consumer behaviour is changing continuously. There's been a shift to online and it's much more difficult to sustain retailing in an environment such as we are in at the moment.
So what can the council and businesses in the high street do to make sure people keep coming here?
Partners here have been experimenting with all sorts of things to do with events. It's a fairly common thing that you'll find in city centres that they've got to look for assets that are in those places, and if you've got an open space like the marketplace here and you've got a historic core, you've got to find ways of making use of that to increase footfall.
Viewing the high street not simply as a retail space but as a whole experience. With many big-name retailers struggling to keep their profit margins up and some high-profile closures announced this year, it's a constant struggle to keep people on the high street, and one that has no single solution. Of course, what works for one retailer may not work for others. So what else would draw visitors and locals to the town centre? We gathered some ideas.
Different shops rather than just high street shops. I like the little individual shops.
It would be nice if this big square here would be used for like local bands, local groups and things like that. They used to do that quite a lot, but now it's all stopped. It would be nice if that came back.
More shops, more trendy shops really.
There was if there was a decent theatre here, but there isn't. So, we go to Keswick or something like that for the theatre. So
the markets are good. Farmers markets are good in town.
Maybe advertisement around what Carlisle has to offer. Coming from sort of Birmingham, I wasn't really aware what was locally in Carlisle that would attract me to stay.
Ultimately, there's only so much that can be done locally. Like everywhere else, Carlisle's high street will be buffeted by factors such as wages and inflation, factors that aren't decided here. Charlotte Briere-Edney, ITV News, Carlisle.